I'm so gullible. I'm like, ये ही है.
हम लोग रेगुलर लोग हैं है कि नहीं? क्या बोलती है तू? आम जनता, मैंगो पीपल, राइट? हमको प्रैक्टिकल होना है, प्रैक्टिकल जिंदगी है, राइट?
Okay.
Hmm.
So, next question. Growing up, I know I'm assuming the answer is going to be similar, but what was the first ever? Because when we were growing up, we were in that phase of moving from scooters to getting our first ever car,
हाँ.
right? Like that phase. So, what was your first car, and what was your reaction to it growing up?
यार फॉर द लॉन्गेस्ट टाइम व्हेन वी वर किड्स तो हमारे पास स्कूटर ही थी जो डैड किक करते थे एंड
Yeah,
माय
yeah, yeah,
ब्रदर
yeah.
यूज्ड टू स्टैंड आगे एंड आई यूज्ड टू सिट बिहाइंड ऑन माय मॉम्स लैप.
Yeah.
Well, there was a point where Karan and I were just growing up, so you know he used to stand आगे and my dad is like I can't see. उसका जूड़ा वूड़ा ऊपर आ जाता तो ये like यार मुझे दिख ही नहीं रहा है आगे. And I had become too heavy. My mom was like I'm tired. So then they were like okay we need to get a car like it's time. So first car हमारी Fiat थी and
Hmm.
in the society में everyone had come like it was a big thing कि you know
Wow.
पूजा वूजा हुआ. There were at
Of
least
course.
50 people there for the whole thing. Then ride
Amazing.
कर गए सबको. Fiat के बाद Fiat had become like a little clunky and also after a
Yeah.
few years Fiat बेच के मारुति ले ली, so it was like compact and everything.
Yeah.
फिर मारुति थोड़ी छोटी पड़ने लगी क्योंकि हम बहुत सारे लोग थे, so we were like 5 of us in the house, me, Karan, grandmom, mom, dad, then my extended family. So हम सब लोग ठूस-ठूस के जाते थे मारुति में. Like डिक्की खोल के पीछे बैठ के. Then we were like, okay, you know, then we swapped the Maruti to a Honda City. Then finally Honda City. So every time we upgraded the car, the excitement just became lesser. Huh? Like then,
Lesser, right?
like,
Yeah.
पहले
But
50
Fiat is
था.
such an iconic first car, yeah. Like Fiat is such an iconic. I think I went in a Fiat for the first time because my Nana ji was in some good post in he, like in LIC, so he would get like I think he would get drop offs or something like that in a Fiat, and वहाँ पे Fiat में आगे three people could sit, right? Along with the driver, two more people could sit. So I remember I used to go in a Fiat whenever I went to my Nana ji's house when I was very young. Our first car was a Maruti. I have
Okay.
a very fun story. Okay, so we got our Maruti, and I remember it was called Oasis Green. uh, एक तो 4 साल लग गए वो वर्ड याद करने में because I was so young and I was like भाई सीखना पड़ेगा, कोई पूछेगा
कौन
गाड़ी
सी
कौन सी
green
कलर है
Maruti? Which
यार.
color? Like
it
the
was
green.
like it was very subtle. No, it was not that bright green. It was a very subtle bush light green जैसा.
हाँ,
Quite
pastel.
fancy enough. Not pastel, not pastel. But I
You
put a
send me a picture and I'll put it here.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, I'll do that. I do. Although I don't think I have a picture of that car, but I'm sure I'll find it on the internet and I'll send that. Okay, so we got that car. We came home, and obviously we've driven around Naval Park because it was our first ever car and everything. My brother, the first day that the car has come, वो lock करने वाला चीज होता है ना, he has unscrewed it and thrown it out. Okay,
No,
and he
don't
did
tell me.
that for because एक बार my parents were nice enough saying okay he's there, and he was obviously older than me, so he was in his age of understanding. Even in an age of understanding, he didn't understand that it was not right to do. So he did
Oh
it.
God.
He sat आगे एक बार and he did it. He sat पीछे एक बार. So 2 out of 4 doors didn't have a lock. In 1 hour
Really?
of the car coming,
The first time.
he did that. Yeah, the first time.
Oh,
The first
अरे
time ever.
फर्स्ट तोड़ने के बाद उसको फटके नहीं पड़े?
नहीं पर उस पता नहीं चला ना तब तक सब एक्साइटमेंट में थे सबने देखा नहीं था सो नो वन हैड नोटिस दैट ही हैड डन दैट ठीक है तो उसने दूसरा भी कर दिया फिर ऑब्वियसली ड्राइव 2-3 खत्म हुए फिर घर आके देखा तो लॉक नहीं है तब
Oh
तो भाई
dude.
पता नहीं क्या किस घर पे जो भी पड़ा हुआ था उससे मार पड़ी है उसको सिर्फ हाथ से नहीं उसको तो बहुत चीजों से घर पड़ी है मार
Did he
पड़ी
have
है
it in his hand? Like, did he
no
have
he
that
threw it
lock?
out he threw
Oh,
it out he
guts.
thought it was some sort of a weird game and he threw it out so he obviously got a lot and naval park is like it's a community so imagine there are
हाँ.
buildings from A to Z there are buildings so there are more than
Oh.
26 buildings and uske alawa there is a canteen there is a nursery there's it's like a huge area my parents have gone roaming around the entire naval
Oh.
park finding that lock and coming back so I
Did they
remember
find it?
yeah they did
Both.
and I think he threw it at the same time. I think they found it,
Okay.
and I think that's why my brother's still a part of the family. Otherwise, if they didn't find it, I don't think my brother would be a part of the family now.
Bro, imagine you're on the same day when your parents got the car, they're going back to the showroom, and the salesman is like, "क्या हुआ सर? गाड़ी exchange नहीं कर सकते?" Like, नहीं, बच्चा exchange
रख
करना
लो।
है, कोई दूसरा बच्चा है तो वो दे दो।
नहीं, नहीं, वो भी नहीं चाहिए, बस बच्चा ले लो
गाड़ी
आप।
ठीक चल रही है, बच्चा छूटे है।
ले लो, आप रख लो, हमको दूसरा बच्चा भी नहीं चाहिए। 2 है, 1 से काम चला लेंगे।
Oh man.
बट या
Where I have a story about growing up middle class and how. So हमारी सेम हमारी फिएट थी जहाँ पे 3 लोग आगे बैठ सकते हैं, 3 लोग पीछे बैठ सकते हैं, पर तुम ठूस-ठूस के तो कितने भी लोगों को बिठा लो।
ऑफ कोर्स, ऑफ कोर्स।
Of course. So हमारी फिएट का एक गाड़ी ना like one door. So somehow I don't know why, but all 5 of us growing up had our fixed places. Okay, like mom, dad आगे, दादी पीछे, Karan on the right side, me on the left side, and the left door का the lock was broken. Okay, and
ओके।
it would just keep opening. And then my parents were just screaming at me the whole time, "Why you opening the door? Why you opening?" And I'm like, I'm not opening the door." So one day we got in ready. Sunday को हम गुरुद्वारे जा रहे हैं, and the society where I was staying had a slope. So we've gone down the slope, and while taking a turn, the door has opened and I've rolled out. Okay,
शिट!
I've rolled
ओह
out.
माय गॉड!
Yeah, and then my parents have dragged me inside and they're just screaming at me. They're like, "Stop opening the door." I'm like, "Guys, why do you think I'm opening the door all the time and then I'll only fall down?" And then that time they were like, "Okay." And then I was like, "Listen, now I'm not sitting this side, I'll sit that side. Then you will know." Then the door opened and they were like, "Oh, maybe बच्चे में problem नहीं, दरवाजे में problem है." So then they have not fixed it because they are like, "ठीक है, बाद में जाके फिएट के पास गए तो बहुत पैसे लेंगे, लोकल वाले बंदे के पास जाते, तब तक तू दरवाजा पकड़ के बैठ।" I'm like, यार दरवाजा तो आ जाएगा यार वापस, बच्चा तो नहीं आएगा ना। आई थिंक दे वर लाइक वो भी हो जाएगा। I'm like, यार कितनी चिंदी बना ब्रो।
ये बच्चा नहीं तो दूसरा ही सही, पर हम डोर फिक्स नहीं करवा सकते, बहुत महँगा है भाई।
But I'm like, यार look at my parents का audacity यार, asking a small kid to sit with the door पकड़ के, because
एंड
they're
दैट
like क्या
ट्रस्ट
होगा।
क्या ही हो जाएगा, मैक्सिमम एक बार रोल आउट होगी, एक और बार गिर जाएगी, इतना ही तो हुआ है। एक बार में पता चल गया कि चोट-वोट तो नहीं लगी, 1-2 बार और गिर जाएगी तो कुछ नहीं होगा।
Yeah.
No, but this
Of
I
those,
think this is trickled down to us also. It
yeah.
has in obviously not in that sense because we are in a different time altogether. But yesterday I was getting this chair out from the room and I was getting it out and I was keeping another chair inside. And this is a heavy that wheel wala chair, okay? तो बाहर आते
हाँ,
वक्त वो डोर में थोड़ा लग गया, so my hand slipped, तो मेरा हाथ भी लग गया और चेयर भी
oh,
डोर में लग गया. Dude, immediately मेरा गांग like अरे यार देख के चलो डोर में like scratch पड़ गया है, and I've hurt my hand. So there's been no next question of हाथ को क्या हुआ, and I've said it out loud कि भाई हाथ भी है मेरा. And then he's like, "Arey shit." So I was like, "Okay, now the concern comes." He's gone to the door and he started smudging the scratch that has happened on the door. And then I was like,
listen,
"That's fine."
when you
This is
said मेरा हाथ भी लगा, he suddenly realized कि insurance is way more expensive than fixing the door. ठीक है।
no, but and insurance is also not insurance. My company pays, so he's like, "हाथ टूटा तो कंपनी की इंश्योरेंस में पैसा जाएगा ना. डोर का कुछ होगा तो ओनर हमको बोलेगा, लैंडलॉर्ड हमको बोलेगा कि भाई स्क्रैच लग गया, पेंट लगाओ."
Where, I have seen so many videos where people Bhargav mein, they are extremely scared about damaging the house.
Yeah,
And India में भाई तुम पूरी दीवार निकाल के ले जाओ यार, मतलब क्या कर सकते हो,
yeah.
तुम डिपॉजिट लोगे ले लो।
यहाँ
तो
डिपॉजिट लेते नहीं है.
सू करते हैं क्या?
नहीं, 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 पर डिपॉज़िट नहीं लेते हैं, बट रिपेयर्स यहाँ इतने महँगे हैं दैट दे डू एन
हाँ।
इंस्पेक्शन ऑफ द हाउस व्हेन यू हैंड इट ओवर एंड इफ समथिंग कम्स अप देन दे आस्क यू टू पे एंड देयर इज़ नो वे फॉर यू टू बैक आउट बिकॉज़ द डीड और द agreement that you
हम्म।
sign, the lease basically says that, yeah, I'm signing that if something when you do an inspection, if everything is fine, otherwise I owe you money or whatever repairs. And the problem is, so I remember in our previous rented house, the dishwasher wasn't working.
हाँ।
So our owner had called a guy to check what's wrong with the dishwasher. That guy just came, turned it on, and it didn't work. What we've been trying to do for, I don't know, 2 months of it not working. For that, he took $300.
Oh my God,
And
dude.
he just to turn it on, turn it off, and see that, okay, it's actually not working. And he's like, this needs to be changed. Whatever he
Okay.
mentioned, something needed to be changed. Just to say that out loud, he took $300.
यार ये नौकरी
So,
को क्या बोलते हैं, प्लम्बर? और
यहाँ पे
प्लम्बरिंग पढ़ने के लिए कितने साल लगते हैं? और वीजा कब तक? हो जाएगा। मैं सोच रही हूँ कि अगर मैं अब भी इन्वेस्ट कर लूँ, मेरा कुछ तो हो जाए लाइफ
नहीं
में।
यार, यहाँ पे अगर आप प्लम्बर हो, कंस्ट्रक्शन में काम करते हो, इलेक्ट्रिशियन हो, you know, electricians and plumbing and all of that, they make more than 100 to $200,000 a year.
Wow, dude. So
That's
today
the
I called a
most.
plumber. I called a plumber क्योंकि मेरे नल में से पानी लीक हो रहा था एंड मैं एक बार माय सासू माँ had said कि ब्रो इससे बरकत नहीं होती है and I used to just look at that long bag. I'm like चल रही है what I'll do with that बूंद बूंद I used to just put a bucket inside and I'm like अगले दिन पोछे में यूज कर लेंगे and after she said that line I was like यार अब तो बुलाना पड़ेगा प्लम्बर को So he's come, he just tapped it twice, opened it, fixed something. In like 2 minutes, he was like, "Chalo done." I was like, "Okay, कितना?" He's like, "दीदी, इसका थोड़े पैसा लूँगा आपसे." I was like, "Oh, बरकत भी हो गई. Great, it's already begun."
उसके लिए हमको यहाँ कम से कम $50 $100 देना पड़ता है उसके बस आने के लिए। तो यहाँ पे हर बंदा यूट्यूब, हमारे पास सारे टूल्स हैं, हमको पता होता है शट ऑफ कहाँ है, शट ऑन कहाँ है, लाइक सो दैट एज मच एज यू कैन यू डू फ्रॉम यूट्यूब, and only if absolutely necessary and you're willing to sell your kidneys, then you call a plumber. And that
Yeah.
also we called because we called someone to fix it. It was, I think it was a technician, not a plumber, but he also came because our owner was obviously looking into it and we didn't have to.
हाँ.
खुद से तो मैं $300 नहीं दे पाती,
Oh, thank
चांस ही
God,
नहीं
dude. I
है।
thought you paid. And I was like,
Are you
यार,
crazy?
cash तो अच्छा से तो मिल्टन का मग ही ले लेती.
No way यार, पागल। Owner is supposed to give, तो यहाँ पे dishwasher and all comes with the house. So if
हाँ.
something happens to that, then the owner has to fix it.
हाँ. हार्ड
Yeah,
सीन है नो सफरिंग तो हर
yeah.
जगह है यार तुम कहीं भी रहो मतलब तुम कुछ
Yeah.
भी करो सबके कलेश पर अलग अलग कलेश है
हाँ, एग्जैक्टली, एट द एंड ऑफ द डे होता ही है। बट एनीवे, टॉकिंग अबाउट मनी एंड $300, जो ऑब्वियसली बचपन में तो बिल्कुल हम में से किसी के पास नहीं था। बट व्हाट वर फाइनेंसेस लाइक ग्रोइंग अप? व्हाट डू यू
अ,
रिमेंबर और व्हाट डू यू रिमेंबर?
यार एक तो ना आई जस्ट वांट टू मेक इट क्लियर कि ब्रो तो ग्रोइंग अप अपने पास नहीं थे यार पैसे डैड के पास जॉब थी so he was like the only working guy and my mom was doing small things here and there but the whole family depended on him for money and he was working in the same company for 27 years
Oh my God.
so
My
imagine bro
God,
after
27
college
years.
the same
Oh
job which he
my
took as an
God.
intern. So,
No way. No way.
so growing up, my parents are like damn open about not having money, and they made it very chilled out. And we also were like, ठीक है नहीं है, तो चला लेंगे. And it was just a very normal experience growing up, knowing कि we knew the finances of the houses in and out, like me and my brother. We always knew. My mom used to take me to banks. We used to
Oh my
deposit
God.
together and we are just very comfortable around money talks. So like randomly my mom will call me and she'll be like, तेरे बैंक में कितने पैसे हैं? I still have a joint account with my mom, bro. She
Oh
can
my
find
God.
I am using the same bank account since I was 16. So she can just
No
find my
way.
account. Yeah. So my family is very chilled out with finances and they would like make everything a goal कि now we have to move to a new house. So हम पीएफ तोड़ने वाले हैं हम ये घर बेच के इतने पैसे कमाएंगे फिर इसमें डालेंगे 2 महीने रेंट पे रहेंगे तो ये सब तो चल दे लेट मी डिजाइन माय सो वी डिडंट गेट एन इंटीरियर डिजाइनर पर घर की जो कबर्ड वबर्ड बनानी थी दे लेट मी डिजाइन इट ब्रो आई वाज इन 6th like guts they
Wow.
were like, you choose the
Wow.
color of the wall, you choose the bed. And till date, like till today, it's the same Senmaika, the same everything. So
I can't
growing up,
believe
like
that.
my parents were very open about money. They were open about being broke. And it's funny because as kids, we were sitting on the same table making these decisions. So I think it's amazing. Like it is a
That is really, and it's very refreshing to hear. I mean, I personally, for me, it was not like that. We didn't know, and I've honestly not even heard this very often, where it was like table conversation of knowing what the finances. Like sixth standard, mein to chance hi nahi hai. Like I'm sure I didn't know what was going on. But I knew I knew how my parents would plan finances. Like they had a
Hmm.
notebook. अभी तो हम कोई apps और ये सब use करते हैं, but they had a notebook where they would write every expense and then they would do the tally and then they would check how much expenses have happened weekly, monthly. Is it as per the goal? Is it budgeted? If we have to buy, like I remember everything was, I know how they had planned for things. Like if you're taking a trip, where will that go from? And like all of that. बट आई डिडंट नो फाइनेंशियल सिचुएशन। आई वुडंट से कि हाँ मुझे पता था कि हाँ भाई बैंक में कितना पैसा ही है, मुझे नहीं पता था।
Hmm.
मुझे बाद में व्हेन आई ग्रू अप when I was like in college and all, then I started knowing more about it. And I don't know if it was a bittersweet feeling knowing that, oh, इतना पैसा ही है पर आप confident भी हो मतलब, and then you and like it was a very weird thing that they'd be like हाँ, because both when I was in college, my brother was also in college, so I
हाँ.
was like भाई दोनों का कर रहे हो, and then they had also said that no, you both of you need to do masters, and I was like, bro, I would not even tell my kids to study more like with this. I would not tell him कि हाँ भाई MBA करो ये करो. And my parents were very, I wouldn't use the word pushy, but they were more inclined towards the fact that
Hmm.
uh, do your masters and then sort of get that out of the way, because
Hmm.
it's difficult to
बाद
come
में.
back to masters, because that
हाँ.
happened with my brother. So my brother started working after engineering, and then it was difficult. It took him a while to come back to studying. So
Oh, bro, your brother did masters after engineering. That itself is
yeah,
a big deal.
yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah,
यार
he
तुम
did.
इतना टाइम पढ़ते रहते हो, फिर 4 साल और लाइक और 2 साल पढ़ना है. No
हाँ.
thanks.
Yeah, very weirdly, I think, yeah, he did. We both sort of started masters around the same time क्योंकि बीच में
Oh.
he was working, and then he went to Germany for his masters. I went to Pune, and yeah, but it was, I wouldn't know, but I think, to be very honest, and this is nothing about any of our parents, but I feel like schooling wise, they really should have taught us a little bit more about how to manage life. Like it's so
100.
difficult to do finances, it is so difficult to do taxes, like I don't know, investment करो तो कहाँ करो, and India
Yeah.
में अलग terms है, यहाँ पे आके तो मेरे को India में जो जान पहचान का market है वहीं समझ में नहीं आता था, यहाँ पे तो पता नहीं क्या terms use करते हैं, like it is, I really feel like there needs to be more education around this.
Yeah.
Then what the fuck do we do in a Pythagoras theorem? I've not used that till date, like why do I care about trigonometry and like all of that?
Best
So I
31 years and we've not used it, bro.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, like, and taxes कराना सिखा दो यार. Like I remember free like savings that we had to do India में, और
Yeah.
यहाँ पे भी करना होता है. Like I have to now learn on these things on my own.
It's very tough, bro. Matlab,
And
just understanding it is tough because like I तो always had a business. First time job लगी ना, तो मैंने एक नंबर कोट किया था CTC के लिए and they were like हाँ ठीक है. I was like yeah. And I was like यार मैं ही पागल हूँ bro क्योंकि उतना मैं freelancing से कमा रही थी and I was like बकायदा चलो ठीक है इससे 10% एक्स्ट्रा दे दो and I was like ठीक है यार कोविड का टाइम है तुम्हारा भी पूरा टाइम चल रहा है
हाँ.
and they were like yeah okay. And dude, in my head, I took that number divided by 12. I gave me a high five and I'm like, let's go. Much in hand आया. I called up my HR and I was like, listen, I think there is some mistake in the, money.
Oh my
And she was like, what
God.
happened? And she was like, the salary slip is coming after 7 days. And I saw the salary slip and I was like, it's not tax. मैंने life में आज तक कभी देखा नहीं है, bro. I was like, bro, can I revise my CTC? And they were like, तुम्हारे चचेरे प्यो दी कंपनी चल रही है. I was
That's
like,
not how it
my
works, Sheena. Yeah.
dude, I literally did
Yeah.
that. I took the number divided by 12, high-fived Mihir, and I was like, life set hai abhi, bro.
Yeah, the in hand is a joke, bro. Like यहाँ पे भी taxes बहुत high हैं. यहाँ पे बहुत ही high. यहाँ पे भी taxes are very high. Even I cried when I saw I had both tears. एक आंख से खुशी की आंसू मिले क्योंकि I was like job मिल गया and everything. दूसरी आंखों से actual sadness वाली tear निकली क्योंकि I saw the taxes that I'm paying.
Oh,
So
man.
I was like, and my little first thing that I told Mrigank is, I don't want to pay taxes. What do I do? He's like, you don't have a choice. I was like, okay.
You
But
stay
yeah,
unemployed. You don't want to pay taxes.
but given our childhood now, I'm now given our childhood, how would you, and how we are now? When I say how we are now, again, disclaimer is that we've obviously studied, we've gotten our jobs, we've reached a point. Touch wood, thank you, Bhagwanji. Please don't give me a pimple or take this away. So, but all of that. But how do you think that contributed to who you are now and how you are now?
Like growing up like that.
Yeah, growing up
But
middle class.
maybe one thing that I realized was कि see my parents ना they used to give me like थोड़ा थोड़ा pocket money like दिन का 50 रुपए 20 रुपए in college and now I'm in college now how do I because I was staying in the same city ना so they were like petrol bike में हम भरा रहे हैं तुम उधर जाके टिफिन तुम घर से लेकर जा रहे हो and हमने क्या मैं अभी क्या बोलूं यार कि मेरे को जाके कुछ बाहर जाके चीजें करनी है मुझे चीजें खरीदनी है so then in 12th only they were like go earn your own money and I was like ठीक है bro क्योंकि अब मैं तुमसे इतने पैसे नहीं ले सकती हूँ तो I got a job with my friend We were working in
Wow.
retail and I got 8,000 rupees. Is when I realized कि bro पैसे इतनी बड़ी बात नहीं है कमाना. Like it's simple. तुम थोड़ा सा दिमाग लगाओ, थोड़ी हाथ पैर मारो, तुमको पैसे मिल जाते हैं. So because of that upbringing, like I didn't take a lot of decisions in my life only dependent on money. So like for example, चलो कोविड में तो जो जॉब मिला ले लिया, बट उसके बाद I got other jobs which were paying me more, but I knew कि it was a shit show. Then I was like, यार पैसा सब कुछ नहीं होता है, ये is ingrained in my DNA. Like I'm like ठीक है, पैसे आते रहेंगे, पैसे कमाना है तो वो easy है. बस that is how I think, which is very surprising, because you're talking about middle class, and I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
detached from
What are
being
you
greedy about
saying?
money. Yeah,
What are you
because dude,
saying?
हाँ, यार तुम लाइफ में ना, मैं गरीबी तो नहीं बोलूंगी, ठीक है, वी वर नॉट गरीब, पर तुम लाइफ में इतना कम देख लेते हो कि और लाइक ठीक है, उसमें भी खुश थे, इसमें भी खुशी होंगे, लाइक
रह
खुशी तो.
लेंगे. Figure out
हाँ.
कर ही लेंगे. Correct.
हाँ.
That's very refreshing, Sheena. Sheena Baba. Gulshin Baba.
अरे ब्रो, माय पेरेंट्स रियली लाइक दे मेड बीइंग पुअर आल्सो फन, लाइक तारा रंपम किड्स.
Tara Rampam.
They made being rich also fun. Like I've had the best of times with them in all aspects of money. So, like growing up, it shaped me now. So I can say it's a good impact.
That's really nice. That's really, really, really nice. Okay, I'll give you my conclusion. No gyan, no Baba gyan. But I grew up with two very, very, very different parents. Okay, when I say different, like my parents were opposites. My dad was extremely, extremely to the book, extremely like savings and ye karna, wo karna, everything planned and like always stressing yourself out and everything. My mom is not like that. My mom is not like paisa kahin na kahin aa jayega. But my nani used to say, nani like now she does can't talk, but she used to say कि भाई भगवान हमारे साइड है, मतलब कुछ ना
Hmm.
कुछ हो ही जाएगा, ठीक है. लाइक शी वुड ऑलवेज से कि भगवान मेरे साइड है और कुछ ना कुछ हो ही जाएगा, टू फिगर लाइक वील फिगर आउट लाइफ. एंड दैट ऑब्वियसली माय मम्स टेकन दैट एटीट्यूड एंड शी इज लाइक वील फिगर इट आउट. लाइक शी इज लाइक कितने में भी खुश रहना इंपॉर्टेंट है. मतलब however shitty the situation is, you laugh it out, it'll always be good. That's how my mom is. And she's like, we can figure it out. She would tell me, she's like, can you not be so uptight, can you not be so stringent, can you live a little bit, can you not,
Huh.
like she would always push me to try and be that sort of a person. So I'm a weird balance of both, where I
Huh.
try to be more chill, but when I'm chill, I pull myself and I become uptight. And when I'm uptight, I try to tell myself to become chill. So I'm trying to
Huh.
live that dual personality in my mind all the time. But that's given me enough to. I would also say that I it's not greed for sure. You like things, you aspire to do things and all of that, yes, but it's not greed कि भाई मेरे को बस 4 BMW दिला दो, मतलब 5 Audi दिला दो, और like whatever, और ऐसा ऐसा भी नहीं है. बस कि हाँ चल ले. My only thing is कि हाँ भाई इतना बना लूं कि when I have to come visit India, when I want to do all of those things, I can do those things. Like
Hmm.
I can have a little bit of outings and I don't have to be cool enough to have eat out every day and this and that. ऐसा इतना भी नहीं चाहिए कि हाँ भाई, but just enough to get through. And my only thing is I want to not be poor enough where I can't afford tickets to India. That's my always my biggest concern right now, being so far away. But but I'm a weird balance between both growing up that way.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But जितना लाइफ में तुम्हारा खर्चा होना होता है ना, उतना तो
वो
होता
तो
ही है,
हो ही
पता है.
जाता है.
हाँ.
Absolutely.
So I'll give you this example कि जब भी फोमो के बाद ना, लाइक मीर एंड आई वर लाइक वेरी लॉस्ट, क्योंकि वी वर लाइक अभी क्या करें डूड. सो हमारी पूरी इनकम रुक गई थी. वी हैड ईएमआईज टू पे. वी हैड 1 लाख ईएमआईज विथ नो इनकम.
Oh, shoot.
तो एंड तभी भी हमारी चुल है कि हमको बाहर जाके लोगों से मिलना है, बिकॉज़ वी वर लाइक कब तक वी विल स्टे होल्ड अप इन अ हाउस.
Yeah.
So we used to like going out now. We used to be so scared because we were like यार, क्योंकि एक तो हमारी ग्रुप्स इतनी बड़ी है, उसके ऊपर we all eat so much, we drink so much, and we used to be so scared कि bro अगर बिल डिवाइड हो गया सब में इक्वली तो हमारे लग जाएंगे. अगर मैं ये
Yeah.
पीऊंगी तो मेरी लग जाएंगे. अगर मैं कॉकटेल पी रही हूँ तो यार बहुत महंगा है, इससे अच्छा तो मैं विस्की पी लूँ, ज्यादा चढ़ेगी. So we used to do so much match. And we used to be like घर पे 4 ड्रिंक पियेंगे, उधर जाके एक बियर पियेंगे. So like we spent a lot of time doing this mental math कि okay bro, then we felt कि नहीं हमने ये नहीं खाया, वो नहीं खाया, तो हम इतना कुछ करते थे. At the end of the day जितना तुमको भरना है उतना तो तुमको भरना ही
भरी
है.
थे. नहीं, I
So
agree.
today I'm spending the same amount of money. I'm just stress free. Like I'm like ठीक है, I don't have to do like oh which tab are you adding me? I'm like, ठीक है. And now, when you have money, now you don't think about all these things so much. So now I put my own separate tab because I'm like, मुझे बस अपनी चीजों के लिए भरना है. पर जब तुम्हारे पास पैसे नहीं होते ना, you're like, oh, what will others think? Do you think you're so poor? I'm like, हाँ तुम हो. But now I'm like totally over it now because I have some money. I'm like, ठीक है यार, है तो है. So
And
yeah,
I also yeah, and I also feel like ना कि जितना तुम एक चीज के पीछे भागो ना, like it can be money, it can be a
yeah,
particular thing, it can be anything, bro, anything. I feel like the more you run towards it, the further it runs away from you. So the
yeah, that's
more
true.
you're like, I feel that way. I feel like you shouldn't run behind anything, and it can. I'm just taking the example of money कि भाई तुम उसके पीछे भागते रहो कि हम ये भी कर लेंगे, इसमें कूपन से कर देंगे, वो कर देंगे, ये कर देंगे. And I remember this. We went to some place and we were so happy because we were like, oh, हमने तो आज like free parking. So by the way, FYI, parking is unbelievably expensive in Canada. ठीक है, मतलब if you go to like a downtown, like a place and all, एक तो finding parking is tough. Plus, if you find it, it's very expensive. You don't get like free parking and all here, very rarely. So we were like, oh, हाथ तो हमने मतलब निकाल ही लिया. Like we got free parking somehow, and we were like, wow, we saved like what $50. That's crazy. We were so happy. And then कहीं और कुछ लग गया, and literally we had to give $50 for that. And I was like,
Oh
there's
man.
no. And I was like, don't. It's too soon to celebrate. Like you said, कितना निकलना है ना वो निकल ही जाएगा, ठीक है.
ये निकलता
इसमें
ही
नहीं
है.
निकलेगा तो उसमें निकलेगा, but जो पैसा हाथ से निकलना ही है, it will go out of your hand. You can't help it. There's no point of celebrating that we've saved somewhere because it's only a matter of time of when. It's
Yeah,
not if, but it'll get out.
yeah. It is true.
But yeah,
This is one
that
thing about like having some money, huh? You have some peace of mind. Like now, me
of
and I, we
course.
are planning a trip for Bali. And only till last month, we were like, bro, thoda, let's plan our finances out, bro. Like, let's see if we have even if we have enough money, like we could liquidate, liquidate. And then, like the end moment पे इतनी सारी expenses निकल आई. And I was just telling me today कि यार, this if this was us like a year back or something, we would have been flipping, like, for months
Yeah,
we would have been like, कोई Zomato नहीं करेगा, कुछ नहीं करेगा क्योंकि हमको बाली जाना है. अभी हम like, यार, it's such a good feeling that, you don't have to worry about small things. So
of
yeah.
course. It's just enough to sleep peacefully and do these small things.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like me going and buying underwear for so expensive. It's like, यार, कैसे पड़ गई यार?
I think after this conversation, the first thing Ragank is going to ask is, can you ask Mihir where he buys or what is this expensive
Listen,
stuff that
actually, you
he's
know what?
buying?
Yeah, the conclusion of this is gonna be so disappointing for so many people because he's bought from Jockey. जो मेरे को बहुत महंगा लगा. Listen, okay, the bill was
Sheena!
1,200 for two underwear.
Oh my
And I was
God, Sheena!
that's a
And
lot,
also,
bro.
I'll tell you the bigger thing is people are going to watch this and be
I
like,
know.
we end after talking about Gyan and life and everything, we're ending with jockey underwear. I really think that's a very
ना वैश तेरे को पता था कि
funny end.
1200 के दो होती है?
नहीं, मुझे नहीं पता था.
Don't you think
Actually, मुझे
1200 की
नहीं
दो
पता.
महंगी है? मुझे तो बहुत महंगी लगी, bro.
देख, when you look at 250 के 3, then 1200 के 2 महंगे होते हैं. It's a comparison.
अरे
It's
ये
a
बहुत
comparison.
1200 की. I was telling him कि यार मीर इतनी महंगी होती है क्या? And he was like, नहीं उसमें कुछ तो सिल्वर फिनिश थी. I was like, कौन देख रहा है वो? मेरे
चांदी,
सिवाय वो कौन देख रहा है?
चांदी.
यार, ये में असली तो नहीं है ना वो. तो लाइक ठीक है यार, एक बंदे को होना पड़ता है. आई एम द
Oh
कंजूस वन
my
मे बी.
God.
यार one
Oh
person is
my
elevating
God.
the other person, so I'm like ठीक है.
Okay. All right.
So tell me one thing. What
Hmm.
is your best memory with money? Like, something where you're like, I'm glad that I had money at this point.
Oh, that's a tough one. Mm,
Bro, you
that's a
think our
tough one.
audio will be that good that we are just heard screaming in the podcast?
Do
ऐसा
you
तो नहीं
hear
होगा.
screaming?
नहीं, मुझे कैसे सुनाई देगा यार? अभी हम रिकॉर्डिंग सुनेंगे तभी
हाँ,
हमें पता
उसके बाद
चलेगा.
पता चलेगा. Bro, I can't think. I don't know. Do you have an answer to this question?
Best memory, yeah, it's just these small things only. Like, I have one bad memory and it's associated to the good memory.
Okay.
So I'll tell you why. क्योंकि फोमो में ना एक पॉइंट था जहाँ पे कुछ भी नहीं था यार. हमारे पास घर नहीं था, दो कुत्ते थे, सामान था घर का. And we were like, we don't know where to go. So I had gone to my mom's house and it was a very small house. I had to give away my stuff because I didn't know where to carry it. पैसे तो थे ही नहीं. एंड वी हैड डिसाइडेड कि ब्रो अभी घर का खाना खाएंगे, राशन खरीदेंगे, डीमार्ट जाएंगे. एंड देयर वाज अ पॉइंट जहाँ पे माय मॉम वुड रैंडमली कॉल एंड आस्क कि तेरे अकाउंट में कितने पैसे. मेरे अकाउंट में 2500 3000 होती थी. आई यूज्ड टू बी लाइक है काफी है. शी लाइक नहीं तू अमाउंट बता. आई वाज लाइक अरे है यार ऐसे क्या है. सो माय मॉम वुड लिटरली डू थिंग्स लाइक शी इज लाइक मैं जा रही हूँ सब्जी लेने, चल मेरे साथ. And I'd be like, okay. And then she would buy vegetables for me, fruits for me. And then I used to be like, okay, how much should I GP you? She's like, नहीं मैं अपने लिए ले रही थी तो तेरे लिए भी ले लिया. Like she used to just do very sweet things for me. Like she's like,
Oh,
मैं 10 किलो प्याज लिए, तू भी 5 किलो तू रख ले. So she's like, नहीं मैं अपने लिए ले रही हूँ, तू आधे तू रख ले. And she just never made me feel like oh.
yeah.
And I grew up eating fruits, bro. मतलब ये पीरियड में I was telling me कोई कुछ फ्रूट वूट नहीं खाएगा. सब सब्जियां खाएंगे चुपचाप से. Essentials. So she used to send me fruits saying कि okay मैंने एप्पल खरीद लिया, आधा किलो तू रख ले. So it was very sweet. So
Yeah.
now like recently she was going abroad and then she was going to the US and I wanted to send her money for shopping. So then I GPayed her and I was like, you buy so many things for everyone. I was like, this you spend only on yourself. I was like, don't even buy a single thing for anyone else. So because of moments like this, I'm like, यार इतने ज्यादा भी पैसे नहीं भेजे, but I'm like, यार I feel happy
I
कि I
was able
can.
to do that.
हाँ.
Yeah. Oh,
And then
that's
I'm
so
happy
sweet.
to
That is
do
so
that.
sweet. That's
So
so
like
sweet.
randomly when it's Women's Day or Mother's Day or something, I'm happy I can just Amazon something to her and I'm like, yeah, keep this. So I love these things. I love about having money. Like
Yeah.
these are the best things, yeah.
No, I agree. I was able, yeah, these things smaller. I don't want to call it smaller, but these little like these little moments really add up. I could, I feel, yeah, when my mom feels like coming to Bangalore and then she's like, मैं आऊँ नहीं आऊँ नहीं आऊँ, I'll just
Hmm.
book the tickets and I'll send it to her and like, just come. So, it'll
Hmm.
be like being able to do those things like for sure really makes a difference. I remember
Yeah.
my mom, so we've never, for some reason, we never celebrate. My mom never celebrated birthdays for I don't know how many years. Honestly, I don't know for how many years. And obviously, but it was always a very big deal when it was my birthday. I remember my mom was the first person to surprise
Ah.
me with a 3-tier cake. I remember it was for my some teen birthday. Um, and I'd obviously seen it somewhere and I liked it. And then she went out of her way, and it was obviously in Vizag in, I don't know, in 2000s. You don't know where you get it, so she would go to he went to that particular shop and then she got it. Like, but for my birthday, my brother's birthday, it was obviously always a very big deal, or for anyone else's. But we never celebrated hers. So on her 55th birthday, I called all her friends and then we did like a very big surprise with like 25, 30 people. And we did like a nice buffet lunch in like with
Wow.
all her friends and colleagues and like everyone was like a good close circle with her. So we did that, and my brother was in Germany, so he couldn't come down. It was right after the pandemic. So that I was supremely happy that I could do that, because I won't obviously I couldn't do that if it wasn't that
Yeah.
I didn't have money. But that I think, and she was so happy, she cried, and then she still, like, this was I think 3-4 years back. Till now she sends me pictures whenever Google sends her memories, that she's like, you remember this, you remember this. Like, she still sends me pictures of that birthday, and she's like, you remember when you did this, and then she remembers the flavor of the cake and like every detail she'll remember. So I
And
feel
there's
like
the
doing
same
those
moms who
things.
are like, मुझे नहीं करना बर्थडे सेलिब्रेट. करना तो है, सबको करना है.
These are the same moms who don't remember slapping your child for a free Horlicks ka flask, but they remember this birthday for years together.
Bro, these are
So
the moments where I'm like, यार
I
इसके लिए
know.
तो बनता है यार. Like
I agree. I
hustling for this,
completely.
I
It's
would
worth it.
love. It's worth it.
It's worth it. I agree. I completely agree. And I'll tell you what I'm happier about is that we are ending this on a sweet memory with our mums instead of
Yeah.
talking about jockey. So I'm very happy about that.
Listen, I feel like I shouldn't have said the brand's name. Yeah, I shouldn't have taken it. क्योंकि people
I
would
think
have
we'll
thought कि उसने क्या पता नहीं क्या खरीद लिया. उनको नहीं पता कि मैं गरीब हूँ यार, वो नॉर्मल है.
correct.
मैं
That
कुछ
was
गरीब
such
हूँ, मेरी
a
thinking गरीब है.
but and now, guys, thank you for watching it, and please tell us what your middle class growing up was like in the comments. And if you're rich, DM us so we can be friends.
I have so many questions for rich people. Like I have so many questions. Like. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर मेरा शैम्पू का बॉटल खत्म हो गया, आई एम लाइक आई वांट टू नो कि रिच पीपल उसमें पानी डाल के वापस यूज करते हैं कि वो बस फेंक देते हैं यार. लाइक मेरे पास इतनी सारी क्वेश्चन है, इसकी एक अलग से
Oh
पॉडकास्ट
my
बनेगी
god.
ब्रो. एवरीथिंग आई
Questions for
डू
rich
आई एम
people.
जस्ट लाइक Do rich people do this? Like, is it happening? Like, स्विगी के डब्बे तुम फेंक देते हो क्या कि तुम धो के रखते हो? पता नहीं।
कल ही हमने पास्ता बनाया था, उसका जार, ग्लास जार था, तो वो अभी हमने धोने डाला है, बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली इट विल बी यूज्ड टू कीप समथिंग, बिकॉज वो कांच का ग्लास है।
सवाल, of course.
कांच का ग्लास है, ओ गॉड, कांच का।
Okay, खांसी।
Okay,
You
thank
do
you.
the conclusion, मेरे को खांसी आ रही है।
Okay, bye guys, thank you for watching and see you in the next episode.
हम लोग रेगुलर लोग हैं, है कि नहीं? क्या बोलती है तू? आम जनता, मैंगो पीपल, राइट? हमको प्रैक्टिकल होना है, प्रैक्टिकल जिंदगी है, राइट?